podcast, the Regiment podcast. I'm pleased to welcome UAV, which I'm sure that you guys probably already know. UAV, you guys know. Some of you might know Bart Fast as well. He's very new, Slarty Bart Fast. Country as well. Gob, everybody knows Gob, and Jib Bob Kerdog. I think for the most part, Country, UAV, and Jeb have been formally introduced in the previous podcast, but I think that Slarty Bartfast has not, and Gob has not either. But it would be nice if we can get some, you know, very short and quick introductions from our two newest participants in the Patreon podcast. So I'll start with Bart, Slightly Bartfast. If you want to do a quick intro about yourself, maybe you can start with how long you've been in the regiment. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? I mean, anything that you want to share, about yourself or about the regiment overall in your experience.
Okay, my name is Slightly Bartfast. Uh, I am a no. Sorry, I was going to start explaining my character from the book. Okay, I've been in the regiment, I think, since about January. Maybe or maybe late last year. Um, I had no idea this kind of thing existed, and when I found out about it, I thought I'll give it a go. And it turns out it's actually been very, very exciting and fun to be a part of. Be a part of a group where everything's kind of organized, kind of. Met a lot of new people and a lot of new friends, I believe. So, and it makes the games more enjoyable. And just working as a team, it makes it feel a bit more real. So I've been having a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to the future of the regiment. I think
Excellent.
that about wraps it up. Well, I'll leave it to you, Mr. Warlord, to get Mr. Gob online. Sorry.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Bart. And we're always happy to have you. We're always happy to have new members join the podcast and obviously support the regiment. I think that is something very, very important here as well. So thank you so much for that, Bart. And now we'll carry over to Gob, aka ICQ.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Um, I like the regiment. I think I've been in the regiment for 2.5 years now. Um, I really appreciate the people I play with. With a disability of not knowing how to read, they're very helpful on it, of helping me out. I know my squad disappeared. I'm trying to bring back my squad. I miss my guys. Um, I like the game a lot. I get tired of playing Call of Duty and I go get on Arma, and I got a bunch of friends I could play with and not have a problem with it, and we always have fun playing the game. I like the way Warlord runs the regiment. He does a very good job at it, keeping everything in order. Same thing with I think UAV does the same thing, and I can't remember who else. I think Old School. I can't remember everybody's name. There's so many people in the regiment, but I mean, that's pretty much all I could say. I mean, I really like playing this game with these guys.
Excellent.
I'm done. Thank you very much.
Of course, very very well said. Very well said, Gob. You know, I think uh, a lot of people feel like you. I think a lot of people, want to see the regiment go in a positive direction. And I think we're going in a positive direction because there's a lot of good things that are coming our way. It's like a lot of good things that are happening. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of innovation. There's a lot of um, positivity that has been moving along with us, despite some of the things that have happened, which we'll eventually get into. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start with some of those questions that I'm going to be sharing with you. So I think this is just a general question, and this is a question regarding the current state of the regiment, right? So how where do you think the regiment stands right now? Like, where do you think we stand right now, and how well are we doing as a community? And you can answer this. You can answer this question, and tackling each one of these questions, or maybe you want to just kind of expand it overall. But where do you think the regiment stands right now, and um, uh, what are we doing well as a community versus, and also what are we not doing well as a community that we can maybe improve on? So I'll just throw these questions out there. Anybody wants to pick one and take off running with it, and I'll leave it to anybody that wants to chime in on this.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to click on the microphone. I was clicking the wrong button. I think the regiment's doing fairly well. I think we took a bit of a knock with the whole ARCL debacle, and I'm pretty sure that's got to spread throughout the armor community and give us a slightly tarnished reputation from a lot of people. But I'm sure there are many other people who understand how that kind of thing works, and those are probably the kind of people that we want to look for to recruit. I'm not much of a recruiter, I'll be honest. I've tried sales when I was a younger lad, and I found I'm not very good at sales. I'm good at putting the work in to put in the equipment in and get it all working, but I don't really want to go not door to door and stuff like that. So I'm more of a soldier than I am an officer. That's the best way of looking at it. But I think the regiment's going in the right direction. We've done pretty well. The last 2 weeks, we've had some pretty good recruiting, considering what I thought might be a slow spot. But I think a lot of that's down to Warlord and his ability to find the solutions. So yeah, I think the regiment's in a fairly good place. We just got to try and brush off that stigma of the previous misdemeanor, shall we say. And whoever else wants to chime in, chime in.
Hello. Combat, you want to go first?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, the whole ARCL thing. Honestly, I think we're better off, and it seems like, I mean, with their whole fucking kangaroo court, that I'm thinking that shit's gonna fall apart. There's gonna find some little problem with everyone besides their favorite people, and we'll be seeing more people leave ARCL, I think, than stay in it. That's all I had to say about that. I'm not too worried about us having to get out of it.
So excuse my clicking while I tackle this topic, as I'm still setting up the thing for tonight. I think I very much agree with Slarty's kind of general consensuses, and also Combat with the whole ARCL thing. I really do think that was a really big issue, and I think we got so into it that we started doing too good, and they didn't like the fact that we were beating people who were punching above our weight class, if you will. But the problem is that we've always done that, and they invited us not knowing that we do that constantly, which always really confused me. Even though we only, run specifically above our weight class, like consistently over and over again. Every single PvP that we've done, it's been a bigger Discord server that we've gone up against pretty much just about every time. There's been one or two where they're smaller, but when we really put our teams together, even if we lose, we always come back. Like, there hasn't been a time where it was so disadvantageous to continue. Like, we're getting our fade run every single time. We really haven't had that issue too poorly, really ever. And I feel like when we went in there, we had a lot of gusto, and they weren't really prepared for that. And when they set everything up, they weren't. They didn't say that this was like. I mean, they did at first say it was a trial phase, but then they started introducing new rules after it was stated it was no longer a trial phase. So, if you're trying to create an entire competitive league, I really don't think that that's a good idea. Changing the rules, and then especially trying to, quote, make an example of a group based off of doing better than others. And what was really, really confusing to me is that how a game mechanic that's not a glitch could be considered cheating. I mean, it's.
I mean,
in
I
the,
can
it- it's not
I
even
can
a
understand
glitch,
their. I will say I can understand their point of view.
but it's not even a glitch.
It's not a glitch. It is somewhat exploitive. Like, I get that. I think their response was unwarranted. Definitely
Just tell us not to do it
overreacted.
then. Yeah,
Yeah, no, and I fully agree.
tell
That's
us not to
exactly
do
what
it.
should have happened. But I think especially that one. I'm not going to name any names here, but the one admin they had just had a fucking, I don't know, had some kind of bone to pick with us, who just wanted us fucking gone because he was heavily driving against us. But it is what it is. That, I don't know.
I think he goes
I
well
just-
with cookies. Sorry.
I forget the point I was gonna make, but
No,
yeah,
you
it's
said
an
the right-
exploit. I see their reasoning. It is an exploit, but I think their handling of it was incredibly poor.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with Jeff as well about the end country, that they're going to. It's a house divided, and it's the famous old back in the 1700s. It's tough to fight against the house that's held together and as a central core. Once you divide the house, then it will fall apart. And I think they're already falling apart. And they should have. It's like you were saying. They should have. The whole first season should have literally been tagged as a practice to see how it all worked out. And then once you figured out all the things are going to go wrong, then the next season, that's going to be the first official full-on season with well-established rules. They just went about it a little bit. I think they rushed into it because it was a good idea. They didn't understand what they'd created, and it kind of fell on them really hard. And I think the whole thing just fell apart, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I honestly, they're still kind of, up there and everything, and they've got the backing of some of the big armor groups and everything, which is, that's great for them. I'm glad they still have the ability to continue, and hopefully they change. And like personally, I hope that they do actually like stay up and running, because if they do, they'll have figured out a rule set. If they can really get through this hard time, they can figure it out, and make an actual worthwhile endeavor out of all this bullcrap that they've gone through.
Yeah, the concept was excellent. I think they had a very clever idea, and you could tell by the number of teams that joined and the number of teams that have already signed up for the second season that it's a success. But they have got to get their house in order, so to
I
speak.
think their emotions play too much of a role in their decision making.
Bit too many egos there.
It's gonna bite them in the ass. Yeah, the egos are going to bite their ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
Hey, it's that infamous line. Was it power corrupts, and ultimate power corrupts ultimately? And when you're in their position, you get a kind of feeling of you're powerful now because you've got this fabulous organization and all these armor people want to play. But when you start,
it could very
kowtowing-
easily be lost. And
Yeah,
I think they might learn a hard lesson if they don't.
Yeah, and sorry, go on.
It can be taken from them. Someone else can create. It doesn't take much to create a fucking Discord channel. All it is getting the groups together.
Right, and if you've seen what they've done wrong, then you
Then
start
you can
something.
do it right.
Yeah, exactly. And all these big discords that they always say, oh, these are the guys that these top 10, 12 discords with thousands and thousands of people, they're going to be the best. And what they failed to recognize was teams like us, when we come in as a really tight knit unit, it works a lot better than sometimes when you've got a massive Discord, when you're dealing with all the egos in that Discord as well. So all those players are thinking they're the best. And then when someone shows up and goes, excuse me, it kind of, I think it threw them for a loop, to be honest.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know that we need to spend all our time talking about that.
No,
the question is more
yes.
about the regiment. We're not here to talk
Right.
about the ARCL.
Yeah,
I think, and we don't got to give them the credit of having an entire podcast
Right.
episode to
Right.
just bitching and moaning about it. It's over. It's done with. Good luck to them. We can move on.
Exactly. On to the next subject, Mr. Warlord.
Yeah, so just onto the main subject, onto a different subject. Like I think you guys pretty much, gave your insights on this particular topic. If you guys watch the video that I shared on YouTube, like you'll hear the reason, you'll hear what I experienced and what I thought about it, and just that firsthand experience of going through that process, and then going through the disputing process, and then getting nowhere, as if you're going through you're going through a government. I picture it like going through a government process, and then at the end of the day, like they're going to reject you anyway. So even though you have all your documentation in line, even though you've got all your paperwork in line, and you're already ready to submit, and everything's good and in order, but because maybe the date, maybe because the date line was the same exact day, they didn't accept you on it because it's because it's maybe like 12:01 instead of
Yeah, well,
12 p.m.
It's just the thing that the decision was decided the day that it happened,
Oh, yeah.
and they were not willing to hear any other sides. They just made the decision and were not willing to listen to anyone else. There was no
that's
disputing
exactly
it.
what
It was, we were fucked from the beginning. So
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, we'll move on.
But-
We can do our own thing.
But one thing I would like to make clear, I think for everybody and for the entire regiment, is that we are not cheaters. We were never cheaters, and we will never be cheaters. That's first and foremost, that I think that we all
We don't
have
need to. We can win
we
without it.
don't exactly, which is why our record says it all. And the fact that we had over 30 to 40 training sessions prior to in between all of those matches that we had, was what prepared us the most. And we have no need to, because we are, if not the best, and we are one of the best units out there, in Arma Reforger. And I think this could also carry over to any other game that we play. If the regiment is organized and well structured, and we could even go to Battlefield, or we can go to any other game that's tactical, and strategic.
But why would we want to?
Right.
for like Battlefield specifically.
Right. No, so I'm just trying to make a point that no matter what we play, as long as if we're able to put our heads in it, then we can actually create something, put together a unit and win, even if we don't have that much experience in that particular game. So no matter where we go, we're going to be able to excel at it. So I guess that brings me to my next question when it comes to the regiment identity, right? So I have, this other question, which is, what should, if we were to look at, the next 5 years, and there was, a particular event, cataclysmic event, where everything was fucking destroyed, the planet was just completely destroyed, and then we had some, fucking aliens or some kind of species come up and find out all of the things that were happening on planet Earth, and they just so happen to stumble upon something to do with the regiment. What do you think the regiment would be known for? Like, what should the regiment
That was a
be?
very long way around just saying what you want the regiment to be remembered for. I feel like you could have just said that.
Yeah, so just to put a scenario out there, but what should the regiment be known for? Are we just a Discord server, or are we building a real community, centered around a milsim? Like, what is your idea? What is your guys' opinions on that?
I'll say that my first thing is, I don't know that I care what we're remembered for, because For me, the regiment is just about us. It's just about us having fun and gaming together. And if anything, what we're remembered for, I guess I would like for it to just be like, I don't know, just fucking winning, I guess.
Okay.
Just like those fuckers that came in and beat our asses that time.
Okay. I like
Yeah,
that.
I don't think me personally anyway, I'm not really, like country, I'm not really concerned about our legacy and what we leave for people to say about us. But I think that if we continue the way we are and we keep it as professional and as tight knit as it is, then people will always remember having met the regiment or come across the regiment, and it'll be something that people will generally just start talking about more. And I think if the
Yeah,
aliens showed up, sorry, go
I
on.
got better way to word what I said. Sorry.
That's all right.
It doesn't matter what we're remembered to others. I want us remembered by each other, remembered by other members of the regiment as just our group of friends, our community that we were part of. That I want us remembered by each other.
Yeah, exactly. It's more about us than worrying about what other people think about us.
Yeah,
So-
that's
so-
it.
so-
I'm done. I'll shut up. now.
In that same topic, what kind of culture do we want new members to feel when they join? Or what kind of culture do we want them to feel versus what kind of culture do we have right now when new members join?
I think to make them understand that we want to help them, however good or bad they are, or however good or bad we are. Maybe they've got something they can help us with. So to make them feel included and listened to, and be part of the group, so that everyone knows who they are, and everyone learns, that this they've been good enough to join the regiment. So there's a start right there. They're obviously a fairly good player and a good person, and just to build on that and just to make everybody, just be one big family to a certain degree. Sometimes you might want to shoot that family member, but that's just training. But yeah, I think we include people, and I felt included from the very get go. I mean, I think it was Tova that actually recruited me, and he was really cool. And my first match with you guys, I was in that same game that somebody had team killed me twice because I said his name wrong, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then within 10 minutes, I'm running around with you guys, thinking, "Well, this is how the game's supposed to be played. These guys know what they're doing. This is fun." And it's gotten better every time. So feel a sense of community, friendships, and just doing the right thing and knowing you're doing the right thing. I mean, that makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, I remember that one day, I think it was that when we first met you, and I think we shared the Discord, but then for some reason you weren't able to find it, right? Until we
Right.
we bumped into you again I'm not sure if it was the same server or it might have been Legacy when we bumped into you.
Right. Yeah, it
And
was because I didn't understand Discord from the get go. I mean, my daughters tried to get me into it, and I was like, "No, it doesn't work. There's just too much going on." And then it took me a long time, but now I've figured it out. It certainly makes life a lot easier.
indeed,
Very grateful we did bump back into each other.
yeah, no, same. Um,
I got something to say. I mean, I like for us to be known as a group of guys that like to have fun and don't want to have all of the negative things about us, because there's zero negative things about us. There's more positive, because it doesn't matter who we're with, joins us, or in the game, and we get in and play. We have our arms open. We're open arms. We don't deny people or anything. I think I just hope we are known as a good regiment, and a lot of people will talk about us. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Gab. That was very, very good for you to say. And I think I guess that kind of brings us to our next question. Because we're always looking for new people to join. We're always looking for new people that that you know that would want to jump into our regiment. Which is why recruiting it's very important. I know for some of you guys, it's not at the top of the list when it comes to it, but I think that even without trying, some people just end up getting recruited. My mission here is to grow the regiment. My mission here is to make sure that we expand and that we have more, um, I would say, brothers and sisters that we can play with, and just like what happened with Bart, just like what happened with combat, with UAV, with Tover, and like all those guys, right? What how did they didn't just find the server and join us. We took the initiative to invite them. And I think one of those things that we have to focus on too is like, we're gonna meet more people, not the exact people, but we want to welcome other people into the regiment, because it's you know it's like bring in additional talent, bring in additional competition, bring in additional squad members and team leaders and platoon leaders, and of course just having that as a as just having this organization as an open invitation for people to do that. And I think um the next step here is kind of growing your squad, the recruitment part plus growing your squad. And I think that my first question for this is, what would make new players want to join the regiment right now? Like what
Well, if
makes
you
them
play against us on a public server, you're gonna lose. So you might as well join or die.
okay.
Yeah, death or liberty.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I think just showing how well we work together. If you're of the right mindset, you're going to want to be a part of it. I mean, there are a lot of people you come across that you think are a good player, and you start talking about discords, and they're all like, "Oh no, they don't like discords. They've had bad trouble. They've had a bad problem with the discord, maybe, and they don't like that whole like maybe ganging up on them to, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that." And we don't do that. And I think
Yeah, that's a
getting that
leadership problem. That
right, exactly, yeah. And I think we've got good leadership, and we get. Well, I felt that I wasn't rushed into anything. I was literally just carried along for the ride and shown stuff and followed along what you guys were doing, and then you pick up on, oh, that's a really good way to do that. I'd never thought of that before. Things like that. That if you get somebody who's interested in a Discord, you've got a better chance of them coming and joining. But I think the fact that we don't bully people into doing things. We ask them if they want to join, and then we bring them along, and they see how we do it, and they realize there isn't anyone like yelling at them to jump up and down and go over there and go over there. I've that one match we had with the Misfits, I think it was. They all seemed like they were all still in the army. It was like, wow, these guys are intense. I mean, they were so serious about every little thing. So I was kind of like, ooh, that okay. I can see how people could get the wrong idea about discords, and if they get recruited by someone like that, then they're not ready for it. That's a shock to the system. So I think we do it a much better way. But that's just that's just our leadership. We've got good leaders, so we do the right thing. I'm done now. Carry on.
Yeah, thank you, Bart. And when it comes to this, to the growth of the squads and the growth of the teams, and now we're talking about leaders. So how do you think? So how can squad members, besides the leaders, because leaders actually, one of their roles is to recruit, but how can squad members help recruits without making it? Um, how can squad leaders help recruit new members into the regiment without making it feel like we're forcing them to? Like, how do you think we can solve this in the regiment? because I feel like this is a problem.
Well, I know we had like a little Lutz leadership meeting just the other day, and we actually talked about recruiting quite a bit. My main thing that I brought up then, and I always bring up when it comes to recruiting, is that it's not about like trying to like, hey, you need to join me. Like, yeah, you need to. Who the fuck wants to? It's a video game. You know, you're not. No, that's not going to work. If you want people to join, I just play the game, and when I find cool people who are good at the game and like to work together, but like generally the best way that I found to recruit anyone is, for instance, like flying in a helicopter. If I have a couple guys that are being my gunners and just flying around with me, I'll usually invite them, say, hey, yeah, you know, you like working together with a group like this, then you should join us. And we do this all the time. Just people like that who are already working together with you, randoms you find like that, just let them know how we do things, and I don't know, it just seems to work that way, just to friendly talk to people. That's all I really got. I kind of lost the wording for what I wanted to get out.
No, you said it the right way. That's how I felt when I did join. I didn't feel like I was rushed into. I didn't feel like I was being bullied or pushed around or anything. It was basically just watch what we do and see if you think it's a good idea. Come with us, play a game with us.
Yeah.
Stay with,
just make friends. It's not about recruiting. It's literally not recruiting. It is just making friends. Go into a public lobby and make friends. If you make a friend with someone, invite them to the friend group. That's all it is. It's just a group chat. The regiment is just a big ass friend group chat, and we are just inviting people to our group chat. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to approach it. And but as I said, I'm not much of a recruiter or a salesman, so I tend to just sit around and point out if I can see that some people are being recruited or whatever. Just say, yeah, I joined these guys a few months ago, and I'm having a great time. So, just come along, see what happens. If you like it, you like it. But there's no animosity. There's no like finger pointing. It's all pretty low key, but we are very serious about what we do. And if they come and stay with us and they join us on in a match, they'll see how we do things and how much easier it is if you've organized and everyone's doing a certain job.
It just makes the game more fun.
Right, exactly. It makes the game more entertaining. It makes it more fun, and it gives you a sense of purpose. And like you said, down to the bottom line, it is just a game. So when I see people like certain other Discords who get so intense, it's like, geez, dude, I understand you want to get better at it, but back off a little bit, a little bit less caffeine. It's just a game, but it's fun to play it properly and be a member of a group of people who are like-minded.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think that's what I said.
Well,
I feel the gin and tonic is kicking in.
So to add on to what you guys are saying, it's definitely a game, and I think that anybody who thinks otherwise is probably not in the right state of mind. But one thing that we have to add as well is why we're even doing this in the first place. So like why are we even doing this in the first place? Why are we even recruiting people? Why are we ever, even trying to bring people in? Why are we managing the squads? Why are we doing this? And I think we have those answers to those questions at an internal, from an internal perspective.
Combat, mute yourself.
But then also it is the fact that so you have one layer of experience. When you think about the experience, when you think about the Arma experience, you think about the Armor Forger experience. That's the first layer, and that's one of the things I was talking to our newest member. I believe that was what was his name? Saladin, I believe, but new guy that just joined. I think he joined yesterday or the day before, and he just started. He might be watching this podcast. I don't know, But I was telling him, it's like this is the first layer. The first layer of the Arma experience is um, just the game itself. And you could only get so far with that layer, that there's an additional layer that's added on to that experience, and that is an actual group. And then that group will add on to that experience. It will go from just running around with randoms, shooting crap, taking objectives, or not, and then not being organized at all, and then people just kind of running their own way, and there's no clear direction on where to go. And I think that's when the experience starts to fall apart, because you know you play a game on conflict, or just vanilla, and then the experience falls apart because then you don't get to play with those people again sometimes. There's some strong animosity against each other at times. There's no rules, there's no order. Everything is just chaotic, and nobody knows what the hell's going on, and it's just it just ruins the experience of the game, in my opinion, right? But if you add the extra layer, which is, okay, let's go ahead and start adding structure on top of it. Let's go ahead and start adding a cohesive unit. Let's go ahead and start adding individuals that actually train, and that let's add training to that process. Let's add um, cohesion. Let's go ahead and add um, you know a ranking system, a structure, and where you have squads within it, and then you start adding all of that. And for some people, it's hard to grasp, or it's hard to get to because they've never experienced it. But then the first layer is always the game itself, which tends to dissipate after some time. And then, but if you have a Discord, if you have a group, an actual organized group that you can play with, and enhance, I would say probably enhance the game experience, that's when it starts becoming much more interesting. That's when it starts becoming something that it's not just, it is a game, obviously, at the end of the day. But then once you're in it, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it feels like there's more to it, and it feels like it's something that you can be a part of. It's something that you can get behind and support, and it also feels like something where there's an opportunity for you to um, to express not only your in-game skills, but also some other skills that we as humans um, do this very well when it comes to organization, and when it comes to working alongside, and working together, right? So I get the part where it's just a game, but then the second layer that we've added on top, the icing on the cake, is the experience that the regiment brings, and along with the missions, and along with with the events that we're having, and all of those things. I think that we should also take into account that that layer is what makes this, because I think if we were to not have this layer of the regiment Discord, I think we wouldn't be sitting here, we wouldn't be having a podcast, we wouldn't have a group, we wouldn't be seeing each other, almost on a daily basis, um, and joining games together, and just having a totally different experience than when you get on Battlefield, or when you get on Arma by yourself, and you're having to play with randoms that have no clue what they're doing. So, I know that kind of stepped in a little more than I should have, but that's just the experience that I've managed to gather, and also the experience that I want others to have, which is why we have the Patreon, which is why we have, a lot of our own server, and a lot of the good things that we have inside of the regiment. I think all of those things count, and we should not leave that, just kind of, you know, um, leave that out as something that's not significant. And I think it is significant if we really put our heads into it and we make it a great experience for everybody that joins the regiment, so that when they do play with us, we can have more um, people that we can, you know, um, spend a long time with, right? And do something together and move forward together. So I don't know if UAV or Jeb or Gob, if you guys have anything you want to add to that.
I definitely do. I've been playing with the regiment pretty much since its inception, and I think that legitimately, like, this is probably one of my favorite groups of people to play with. Period. Don't get me wrong. I love playing with the other guys. I've got some other groups that I play with 100%. But over and over again, time and time again, the regiment just shows me that, like, I always have, like, a legit, like, place to fall back on. And, I'll be honest, I wish people were more, like, active. I wish I had, legitimately more people who were on, even more than we already have.
You need to get on more than, baby girl.
Dude, trust me, I have been trying. I have been, working my ass off lately, trying to, marry a girl and do all this other shit. And, even when I'm not on and, I'm doing all that, I come back and this is fucking same old shit, Like, my squad runs pretty much autonomously now. I don't need to have a bunch of input and micromanage everything because y'all guys got it. You guys understand what needs to be done. You recruit, you do all the other shit. I got Combat Country and UAV, pulling their weight 110%. And, I really, really enjoy playing this game with all of y'all continuously. It's a little bit of a glaze fest going on right now. But I legit feel that way, and I would not rather be playing with really fucking anybody else. The only thing is that we just need to work on gathering people who really feel the same way. It's hard to find people like that, and we just need to keep working on that. Because if we actually find a group of people that wants to stay that way, and we can have 100 people at a time, freaking absolutely, just seriously hanging out and having fun, and we can have that much traffic every single day. I think that that's my goal in the regiment, is to have 100 people every single day, active, constantly, running at least 2 servers at a time, constantly. That's my personal goal. That's where I want to see the regiment be at. And I think that's a pretty damn good goal to me personally. So, but yeah, that's really all I have to say about that and that topic.
I think that's a pretty good aim to have. We could take over a 128 player server and destroy an entire team. 60 guys suddenly show up on a full server and just wipe the map clean. We are the regiment. No, I'm serious.
That reminds me of another topic, but maybe something better for a leadership meeting instead of this. But I just wanted to get it out so I could remember it later.
Which is?
Well, just you talking about the servers and stuff. Is we like, okay, so my game master, I'll go ahead and just get into it now, I guess. My game master last night proved to me and to Belly, because we talked about it, that if we had when we're not doing game master and stuff, just, I don't know, vanilla for sure, but like conflict or something running on the regiment server while it's already sitting there persistent, not doing anything. And we just hopped on there occasionally. Like when we do our battle nights where we go out and we're all every night just hopping on an official. What if instead of doing that, maybe like we go play an official, and then afterwards, once we got like the nights we have a good bit of people built up, we just hop on our private server and play conflict against each other. If we have to do like smaller, not the full map or whatever, I guarantee you we will have randoms join, and like people could. We had maybe 10 fucking randoms join in the 2 hours that I was doing a game master last night. Like if we do that, we could be gaining recruits every night. People who come to our server and play with us on either team. I think that's just something we should look into.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. That would be fun playing against like-minded people, and then you could get your skill levels up and build more camaraderie. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, as long as if we're always playing against each other, that gives me more reason to want to win. I want to show that I'm better than my friends.
It certainly UAV doesn't need any prodding in that direction. He's always happy to show how much better he is. Yeah, so I've got several hundred bullet holes in my head thanks to Mr. UAV. On a friendly basis, of course.
Playing with friends is always more fun. But yeah, that's all. That's all I had on that.
Yeah.
No,
I
think that's a great idea. Combat, because we have to think about like, okay, how are we going to maximize the use of our server right now? And I think that we're probably getting to that point. And if we can start utilizing our server a bit more, and if we start seeing growth and we start seeing more people playing on it and we start seeing more demand for it, we just have to create that demand, right?
Yeah, I know it's not going to be every night, but I know there's those nights where we'll have a fucking team full. Like we'll have a lot of people on the team while we're out playing in Publix. So whenever that server goes down, we finish the match, whatever, just move next to our own private server. Tell the people that are in that server we just played, like, hey, we're moving to our private server. Y'all should meet us over there if you want to keep going. And then we just go play on there. And I guarantee you we'll have randoms see, hey, this is a community server that has people on it and they're playing vanilla conflict. I'm a join, because we had that. Like I said, it was only like 2 hours, if even that. It might have been like an hour and a half or less that my mission was running last night, and we had like constantly randoms joining in. Hey, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Just looking for something to do, just looking for a game to play, wanting to play on a community server. That was happening the whole time, and we were having to constantly go manage those people and keep them from ruining the mission. Yeah. And I think that happens when you run vanilla, because people don't generally join modded servers like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I guess the other question would be like, okay, so how often? Maybe like, so we could probably run not missions, but we can probably run, public servers from Monday through Friday, and then maybe like we'll do.
I don't think it's got to be a scheduled thing. I think it's just got to be like when we have the numbers, we can do that. When we have numbers to play against each other, and I think we've done stuff like this before, but I guess my thing is just we should try to do that more regularly, because I think it would be more fun, and we can set it up to where it's like Southeastern Evron. I think that's one of the options where you can just have conflict in Southeastern Evron, so it's not the full map. Or we could just run Arlen, something small where it's a smaller team. If it is just us playing, it's still feasible.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the other thing is, like I think when it comes down to PvP, like in the regiment, one thing I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of concerned about is that we are very competitive. Like we are very, very competitive to the point where we can be, somewhat toxic, and that's what I don't want to develop as
well, that's why we just need to work. We need to work on that, I think.
We do. We need to work on that. And when we do PvP against each other, I think it has to be professionally and respectfully moving forward.
Yeah.
and
For
we have to
sure.
just set those boundaries at least for everybody to understand. And anybody that violates that needs to have a consequence, because we are not going to be,
Yeah.
I don't want
I,
anybody going to you, talking smack to you, and then starting some beef, and then going to bar and starting some
and
beef
that's
with
why I
somebody
think
who's
if our leadership can handle it correctly, which I think we can, I think that can be better for the regiment as a whole, because you bring up a very important point that we can be fucking toxic. We can be a little overly competitive.
Are we
That's
talking about
something
in
that needs to,
regiment PvP?
yes, but that's
Okay.
something that needs to kind of be worked on, because it has caused us problems in the past, being a little too toxic, a little too competitive. So if we can play together and learn, like, hey, this is a fucking game. Those are my friends on the other team. We're just playing right now. Maybe that can translate to the public official servers as well. That way we're not fucking being assholes to random people and hurting our chances of gaining members and hurting our reputation. I think it could translate well in that way if we just learn to be more respectful through playing with each other.
agreed.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Combat. Anybody
think-
else want to?
So
Go
say,
ahead.
I think the overly competitive side is kind of a double-edged sword. It's good that then you can show just how seriously you want to take the game, but then I've noticed sometimes when we play on public servers, the groups of people that we start to beat, they kind of get all ganged up and they go, "Oh, you guys are cheating," or "You guys, this is not cool." And it's just because they're not used to playing against such a well-organized squad. And I think the competitive edge can be maneuvered in the right direction, in that it keeps us being very competitive, but it doesn't have to be quite such a negative effect. It's just something that has to be honed or tuned to the right station, so to speak. I'm not sure if that made sense, but it sounded good in my head. And that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go away now.
No, I agree. I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship having like in regiment stuff, PvP related. Like it's good for morale. I don't think it's something we should like do all the time. But we have not done it in a very long time, so I think we need to do it. But if y'all are talking about doing something like this, like on like a weekly basis, you know what I mean? Like I don't think we should stoop to that, but because I do think it's gonna create infighting. But
Well,
like
what might help with that maybe is randomizing the teams. Like I think squad v squad all the time weekly would be bad, because it's gonna kind of drive a wedge between the squads and animosity there. But if we do just fully just team balance, just try to keep the teams balanced.
like randomized.
Yeah, we'll just try to
teams.
keep it balanced. If there's 6 people on Russia and 5 people on the U.S., join the U.S. No
I
matter
like
who's on
that
what
idea.
side.
That kind of solves that issue, but it doesn't help the issue that I have seen of like my squad is kind of disorganized right now. Like nobody's playing official really. Well, I'm not on when I've been inactive, but it's not how it used to be. You know what I mean? Like we're not all hopping on every night and fucking running shit with full squads and stuff like that. And I feel like it would be cool to do a squad v squad PvP very occasionally, but I do like the idea of randomizing it.
I definitely think that that's a good idea. I completely agree with all that stuff, and we really need to take advantage of the time that we have. You know, when we are all on, you know, we need to be like, oh shit, everybody's hopping on, dude. We need to fucking get in a goddamn game together and fucking play and do shit, and that's what needs to happen like ASAP. You know, like if we're seeing a large group of guys getting on the fucking game, we all need to hop on. You know, kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's like back in the day when, like I said, like it's been what 2.5 years since I've been on. I know, I mean, one person gets on, hey, I'm hopping on, and next we know we're all in Discord. Oh, let's get on and play, and the next we know it's all blown up. We got everybody, but now we got that server, and to me, it feels like we're really not using the potential of that server right now.
Well, in the
I
when we
think
do
maybe,
that, we are honestly sometimes we ruin the game for some of the randoms, and that's not good for us.
Yeah.
Not
yeah,
good for anyone because we ruin the game for the randoms, and I've seen more and more often that they just start leaving. Like they don't want to play against us, and so they just fucking leave because there's too many people. We overtake one team, and then it ruins the game for us. It ruins the game for them because we don't have anyone to play against, and they're playing against someone like. I think it would be really good for us to utilize ourselves as someone to play against.
yeah. I mean, there was times where we got on a regular match server, and there were so many of us on the American team. Everybody else started going to the Russian and started playing against each other. I mean, that was the fun days. I mean,
Oh
and
yeah, I
it's
still do
still
that.
fun days
If there's
now.
too many of us on one team, I'll still join the other team sometimes just to try and sabotage y'all.
Yeah, it's fun that way. It's like, oh, I'm gonna find Kenny and I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna find Warlord and kill him. I mean, it's like I put on a mission and I put a hit on those people, hunting them down
Yeah,
because I know how they play. I
Exactly.
know where they're gonna be. Oh,
good
I'm
luck
gonna go
killing
in that
Warlord.
area.
And Kenny
Oh, killing
kick
Warlord
your
is a
ass.
favorite pastime.
Yeah,
I can
I
imagine.
mean, Kenny. I mean, I love Kenny. Kenny's really helped me out a lot on this game and stuff. I mean, I ran around with him for a while doing the Armo depots, getting supplies and stuff. Started doing that. He started teaching me the map a little bit more. Like I said, with my reading and stuff. I mean, you guys, a lot of you guys help me out. There's no second it or anything, or somebody kind of makes fun of me. You guys are right on it. Hey, he has a hard time reading. Leave him alone. I mean,
Unless it's one of us, and then we all make fun of you.
yeah, but it's I
In
know
a
the
loving
joking.
way.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's a loving way the way you guys joke about it. Other people that don't know, they'll go for the stab straight to the heart, and not just a little stab on the toe.
Yeah, there can be some asshole randoms, and we
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a day there was what was it? It was me and Bart. We were doing something. He's like, "Hey, tell him about the regiment." Boom, I was on it. Boom, telling him all about the regiment, all the benefits and everything on it. And I stopped for a second. I was like, "Hey, Bart, I don't know where to send him. You tell him what to do, spell it to him, whatever." Bart's like, "Yeah, not a problem." Boom, Bart was on it. Told the guy, not knowing if the guy joined us or not, but I was out trying to get that done. But there's certain things I need help on, and there's always the guys around me in our Discord are there to help.
Unfortunately for Gob, I'm not the best recruiter, so I tried my best, and we between the two of us, we might have got someone to join, but
Yeah.
and also when there's just two of you on a server from the regiment, literally just two of you,
You can't really use that. We coordinate really
Yeah.
well when there's.
It's kind of hard work when there's just the two of you.
See,
Yeah.
Country, I was listening, and you're like I've never really thought about it that way in detail, at least, but I understand where you're coming from. Like when we play games, we like often get like overwhelm the enemy, and it becomes annoying for them.
Yeah.
I get that. Uh, I don't know. I feel like we got to find a balance in the middle somewhere.
No, for sure.
Like I don't know. Because we don't have activity. I don't see it, at least, like in regular official games. I mean, I've been hopping on earlier in the days, like this week, but so like
Oh,
I'm
I
not
see
really
all the
on in
time
main
because
times,
I mean, I'm not on every night, but some of the nights I'm on, I'll see we'll have a good number of people join, and then it's just we ruin the game because of our numbers. That still happens. Like I know we're not as much as we used to, but that still happens where we will ruin a game because everyone wants to leave because
Define
too
ruin a
many of us.
game, like ending it too quick or like
No,
making it
no.
last
I
too
mean,
long,
we will
or-
ruin the game because we are beating them. Then 90% of the enemy team leaves while we're still like playing the match, and just then the match is just kind of ruined because it's 20 people versus 10 people.
You
20
mean
people
like a
versus
couple
5
nights ago?
people.
Like a couple
I-
nights ago when we were playing, and it was like
The
I think the US
problem
team-
is I don't even know for sure what you're talking about because it's happened so recently for me or so frequently for me that when I'm
Yeah.
in a match that everyone leaves.
It's been happening quite a bit when we start to overwhelm teams, and you suddenly check the personnel, and there's like 7 left on the other team. You're like, where the hell
Yeah.
did they
I
go?
mean, I understand it even just on the basis of like when we're all like in a fucking like big group and we hop in a game, it's like fucking 20, 30 of us in olden days, but like that many people hop into an existing game with like fucking 10, 14 people in it already on both sides. Yeah, you look at the numbers on the enemy team and you're like, oh shit, there's fucking like 15 of us against like 37 of them.
Yeah, well, and
Fuck
it's
me, I
not
guess.
always that we just come in and outnumber them. It is that we come in and we'll even the teams out. It'll be 20 v 20, but because we do that, they just start fucking leaving, and then we way outnumber and it'll be 20 v 5 or something. I don't know. I've seen that happen several times.
Yeah, like what I was saying, there was the one time we got on there and it was uneven and we evened it out. And I think we went Americans. And it was like 4-1. Russia had 4, we had 1. We got on and we took it over and brought it back and won. And people started leaving after that because it started getting close to the end because the numbers were changing.
I think that's just the nature of the game, to be honest, because there are so many different people with different attitudes to the way the game's played. It's going to be tough to get I mean, you have to find somebody like us on the other team who's willing to stick together and fight. It's just the fact that there's so many individuals and they have no leadership that they tend to leave individually and not really notice that anyone else is left. It's just a matter of the fact that the way the game is played by so many random people, unless they're fairly organized, they're going to feel like they're being, they're just someone's just taking the piss, so to speak. Like we're just killing them all and taking over the whole game. I don't know. I think I lost my track there, but sorry. It's just the fact that there are. Yeah, go on. Sorry, carry on. I'm going to shut off there. Oh, did I kill the conversation? Sorry.
Yeah, I think God was saying something.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm all good. I said what I needed to say about the match and stuff. I mean, I know there was somebody said something and I wanted to make a comment on it and then I lost it. I had a brain fart.
Oh, good.
Like the old people say, sometimers. I know Bart understands what I'm saying.
Oh, he definitely.
The 2 old folks on here.
Yeah,
But-
definitely sometimes. We
Yeah.
lost Warlord. Where did Warlord go?
I was wondering that too.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask him to come up with another question.
I do have a
Yeah.
topic from Xavier, one of our viewers. I don't entirely know what he means regarding this, but
How do
one
we
of you
see
guys
the-
might.
Questions from viewers.
Yeah.
No, that's
Well,
not-
he messaged me
Okay.
because he's watching, but he said mention how FIA is going to make the balance issues interesting.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
with
if he's
them
talking about
becoming
an update or
well, they've been running the experimental servers with all the new stuff they want to try and get into Arma 4, where they put the FIA as a playable entity.
Oh yeah.
So you can join the map and you can be FIA. Now I've been on about 4 or 5 of those servers and tried to play a game. And what it happens is because everyone's so new to the idea of playing FIA, everyone wants to be FIA.
Yeah.
But the way they've got the game set up, FAA doesn't take bases. It doesn't have a communication between teams. It's all down to basically being a bunch of terrorists, and you're trying to either stop the Russians or the Americans. Or the idea, I think, is that the way forward is they're looking at the fact that the FIA can then try and become allied with either the Russians or the Americans and help them win the game.
See, I haven't played on the
Interesting.
experimental too much. I have tried it out, and I've played FIA. I want to say that's something that we need to wait a little while, because it's the problem of people want to play what's new right now.
Right,
when you go into those servers,
Yeah.
and there's the one last one I think I did. There was like 5 people on American, 5 people on Russian, 20 people FIA, and I just
Right.
don't feel like that's really going to happen once once it loses that new factor.
Right, because you
Because-
can't win the game as FIA at the
Yeah,
moment.
I think
So-
realistically you might see a handful of people, if that, are playing FIA once it loses that new factor, because it's literally just Insurgent Simulator. That's all it's going to be.
Right, and you start out with that like a pistol, and that's it.
Yeah, and so
you have to-
maybe allying with a faction, I could see that being kind of fun.
So it's an actual element in the
Yeah,
experimental.
yeah, it's in
Yeah.
experimental, and
Align
it's a
with-
normal conflict. Normal conflict, you can play FIA, go to their bases, whatever, and I think you can. I don't know how, but I know FIA can somehow ally with either the Americans or the Russians.
I think that's down to an individual thing. I'm not sure it's set up as an option during a game.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like,
okay.
It's like one team might approach the FIA if they find a group of them, or the FIA might approach the Russians and say, "Hey, look, we should try and team up, and we'll help you beat the Americans." But because it's in such its infancy right now, it
So it's
isn't that
no
organized.
mechanic.
No, there's no
Yeah.
mechanic. Right, it's just the fact
Well,
that
it's said in one of the dev posts or something like that the FIA can form an uneasy alliance. So
Right.
it's not just they're not just saying players can not shoot them if they want. That's a mechanic. That's not a mechanic. That's just how players play.
Right,
There's gonna be some kind of mechanic, possibly like a FIA commander or something, being able to choose like friendly factions or some shit.
That's the thing is there's no leadership roles. You don't get rank updates. You don't gain experience. You just play as a player. In fact,
That's it.
it's
But like I said,
actually
that's still in development and still
Right,
like
exactly.
very infancy. So
But at the moment, you can actually walk onto an FIA base, which is a bunch of FIA just wandering around on the base, just standing there, and you can literally kill 2 or 3 guys to get all their equipment off of them, and the rest of the players just come running to see where the gunshots were. Are we under attack? And no one realizes you've just killed 2 of your own team. There's no consequence for it. So that's kind of I think that's a bit of a glitch. But also, you don't have any transportation. You have to go and find it. You don't have places you can build transport. You have to steal it. And if
How
you're
does
in a map,
supplies work?
that's just it. You literally have to scavenge your whole way across the map. And I've spent games when I've run around for like 20 minutes just trying to find another person on the map, let alone another FIA. So, as I said, yeah, it's in its
basically
infancy.
playing combat ops while everyone else is playing conflict.
Right, yeah. So it's
Can anybody send Warlord a message and find out what happened to him?
I don't know. I wonder. We can't leave while he's gone. He needs to be able to come back to
quick
save
question.
I believe it'll still record everything we're saying now, but
Yeah.
he has to
Okay.
come back
It will.
to save the recording. And if any of us leave, because I know God,
It'll delete our
this is-
audio from
or
the
Bart,
entire
yes.
thing.
It'll literally ruin the entire podcast, because your audio for the entire time you're in here will be deleted if you leave before Warlord gets back to save it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
won't
while
leave.
y'all are in here, everybody start downloading the mods, or if you should have already had them downloaded, to be very honest. Because most of
Play
these are like,
mods.
I
Alright.
Your
DM'd him.
configuration doesn't work.
what do you mean? Yes, it does. It's literally working right now. I'm in it, and it's working, and I'm building.
Every time I
right
try
now.
to load in, it says it doesn't want to load.
I don't know what you're talking about. I literally don't have this issue. Hold on. The server's having no issues.
It's having ill issues.
No issues.
Oh,
It's at minimal CPU usage, minimal memory usage.
No, it's. I might just have an issue with one of. It did this one time before. I had to reinstall my mods when I did.
Oh, that sucks.
It was like
Unknown
8
keyword offset, unknown server update, correct server mod outdated. Server
Oh.
mod outdated error.
9,000 mods. Okay.
74.
Did I just delete everything and start all over?
I mean, it's RHS and fucking like it's not like it's the same mods that we use like every time. Like,
So it's the same map as yesterday, the Kolgaev one?
yes.
I
It's
think it was
mine
just-
with like an extra 3 independencies minus some of the vehicles.
All right, let's just see
okay.
if I can get it all to download. Without the,
It's literally like the same mod list.
I'm going to
I
be on
wish I could play
300
it,
mods.
but
I deleted all the mod lists because I was too full for the thing for UAV match we didn't have, and I did all the mods for that, but I deleted everything and only put those mods on.
Is Warlord? Oh, he's back.
Oh, he is?
Thank God he's back.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
No.
There you go. I told him no one was allowed to leave until you got back, Warlord.
Yeah, no, I have
You-
to. I have to.
You
stop.
shall not pass.
You shall not pass.
He held us all at choke
Yeah.
point, Warlord. I can attest.
Hey, y'all are gonna like this one, okay? It's actually not too bad. It's a little bit of reminiscing, if you will, on some of our first kind of events that we dealt with.
All right. So I'm
Very
gonna. I guess I'm gonna have to end the podcast now because otherwise I might not be able to get back on. So
Sadness.
I will. Yeah. But hey, thank all of you guys for showing up. I think that this was a very important step forward. You guys showed up and we talked about different topics. This is what the podcast is all about. The podcast is all about sharing our ideas or our.
Was that like an hour late?
Yeah.
Is that damn?
Yeah,
dude,
you
I-
were pretty late.
You told me 11 p.m. Eastern time, and I joined at like 11:10, I think.
Yeah, he gave you an hour or two.
That's
late,
rough.
I think.
Yeah,
well,
I
so-
looked
so-
at the message again, and then I saw
Yeah.
you said it started at
sure.
9 p.m. CST, which is 10 p.m. Eastern for me.
See,
Damn.
Warlord, you gotta
I
get
thought it
your
was
time
10
group.
CST.
It
That's
was.
why I said
No, no.
I was.
It was
Did you get the
9
message?
CST.
We've
It's 9
always had
CST.
these time fucking errors, dude.
And I'm always
Yeah.
the one complaining about it. And
That's
everyone
that's
goes,
You
why
know,
that's literally why
We're nothing
I just
if not
put one
consistent,
time.
at least. We're
Dude,
nothing
that's
if not
why I
consistent.
always put CST. I always put CST so that every single time you guys can figure it the fuck out for your own time zone. Because it's
See, I love
always
that.
an issue. It's like that's why I just put CST. So I'm like, hey, guess what, motherfucker? Figure out it's CST. Boom, bam, done.
Yes, exactly. If you know, or me personally, if I know exactly which time zone it's in and what the time is, I have no problem.
Yeah.
I've lived the 24-hour clock my entire life, and I spent 6 years in the military. So the 24-hour clock is, that's just how I think.
It's pretty reasonable. I
Yeah.
feel. You know?
I mention this because of the final of that dreaded competition we were just in, when I got on an hour early, and I'm like, where the fuck is everybody? And it was like half an hour before the game started, and I'm like, there's nobody here. What
I
the
will say,
fuck?
Warlord was trying to end it. He's waiting on us right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry,
all
Warlord.
right.
We'll sign off, and this was a fun time. I enjoyed
No, no,
it.
no, 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 no! Don't
Sorry,
leave!
wait.
Don't leave!
Don't
Don't
leave.
leave!
Gonna
Don't leave
end
yet.
it.